உரையார் காட்டும் மாபிரம்மவத்துவாலன் தவநிலை சவசற்சீடர் செறிகுருவரன் சிற்கையன் உவகையோருருவன் தன்னுள் உவப்பவன் கழிமூகத்தன் அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே. அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே. With this invocation, we shall go straight into the text. Because just now we finished our Guru Padaka Puja, na? So we have chanted all the Guru Stuti there. So we'll go straight to the text. நேத்தி நேத்தி ஆதிவாக்கால் நிடேதித்து மூர்த்தாமூர்த்தம் ஏதுமே தள்ளற்கில்லா எதை சுவஸ்வரூபமாக ஓதரும் சாதுவானோர் உள்ளத்தில் கொள்ளுவார்கள். ஆதிமை அறிவானந்த அவ்வஸ்து அன்றோ நீதான். உத்தியாம் குத்தினாலே உமியனும் 5 கோஷம் புத்தியார் பிரித்து பின்னர் பொருந்திடும் அரிசி போலும் எத்தினை சத்துக்கள் கண்டு இதயத்தில் அனுபவிப்பர். அத்தமில் நித்த சித்த அவ்வஸ்து அன்றோ நீதான். அவ்வஸ்து அன்றோ நீதான். Are you not that which shines in everybody's heart? Tatvamasi. So in the first stanza, the disciples, they sing saying Neti Neti Adi Vakal, using the process of negation, not this, not this. Nidedittu Murta Murtam, when you reject all the Murta Amurtam, the gross and the subtle, the form and the Sukshma, the subtle form. If you negate, whatever remains, Edume Tallarkilla, whatever remains, which cannot be negated, Adai Suvaswarupamaga. So these great saints, they meditate that as their own self. இதயத்தில் கொள்ளுவார்கள், உள்ளத்தில் கொள்ளுவார்கள். அப்படிப்பட்ட ஆதிமை அறிவானந்த. You are that pure consciousness. And which is Ananda, the bliss. Avvastu andro nidan. Are you not that supreme truth, O Lord? And then they say, Uttiyam kuttinale. Using the logic and reasoning given by the scriptures, using that as the pestle, Uttiyam kuttinale, when you pound and when you remove all the husk from the rice, like that, if you remove the panchakoshas from the Atma, the self, whatever remains as the pure self, எத்தினை சத்துக்கள் கண்டு இதயத்தில் அனுபவிப்பர். These சத்துக்கள், these sadhu sant, what they enjoy or experience in their heart as that attamil nitya vattu. Attamil means which will never perish. Nitya vastu, always there. That vastu. Nitya siddha vastu. Siddha means always attained. Avastu andro nidan. Are you not that truth, supreme truth, O Lord? So here, as I told you yesterday, There are panchakoshas. Somebody was asking me, what was the panchakoshas? What are all the panchakoshas? The first is annamaya, meaning when you eat anna, so it is made of anna. Annamaya kosha, the body. And then the pranamaya kosha, the vital air, the vital breath. There is a kosha covering. And then manomaya, the mind. And then vijnanamaya, the buddhi, the intellect. And then anandamaya. Anandamaya means it is actually the ignorant sheath. There is no experience of anything, therefore there is bliss. So it is called as ananda. As if in deep sleep, you don't experience anything, na? But there is ananda. In waking and dream, you experience something contrary to the truth. There is so much of distraction, that is why there is dukkha. So in deep sleep it is better state because at least there is no misapprehension, there is only non-apprehension. Therefore there is ananda. That is called as anandamaya kosham. So these are all the 5 koshas. When you remove these 5 koshas through discrimination, whatever remains is the self. Today morning also we saw udal pori ullam, uyir irul ellam, sadam asattadadal undivara sattana nanalla undivara. So they are all jadam and asat. That is not the sat. The I, that true I is a sat purul. No, today morning we saw, na? That is what is explained. Now the third verse. See, this third verse to be taught to all our youngsters, to the children. It's very beautiful. The same idea comes in Kathopanishad also. It's so beautiful. And it is beautifully written actually. Especially in Tamil, it is so beautifully written. Bhagavan's composition is extraordinary. Porigalam parigal tammai Pulangalil vilangum thoda Arivanum kasayaditte Ahamuha kaitralitau Arivari arinyanyettil அனைத்தொன்றா பிணித்தீருப்பன் அறிபொருட்கதீதமான அவ்வத்து அன்றோ நீதா பொறிகளாம் பரிகள் தம்மை புலன்களில் விளங்கும் தோட அறிவெனும் கசையடித்தே அகமுக கயிற்றாலீர்த்தோ அறிவறி அறிஞன்யத்தில் இணைத்தொன்றா பிணைத்தீருப்பன் அனைத்தொன்றா பிணைத்தீருப்பன் அறிபொருட்கதீதமான அவ்வஸ்து அன்றோ நீதான் பொறிகளாம் பரிகள் தம்மை. Yesterday only I told you porigal means senses, and also it means trap. Since the senses are trap, it is called as porigal in Tamil. Here parigal, another word is pari. Even Tamil people may not know this. Parigal means குதிரைகள். அந்த கதை correct. பரியை நதியாக்குனது திருவாசக பேர். Pari means horses. See, here the senses are compared to the horses. See, in a chariot, the senses or the horses, they are the one who are driving the chariot, na? Similarly, here in our system, the senses are compared to the horses driving this chariot. And these horses are running havoc, running here, there, where? In the path of sense objects. So, pulangalil, always they are running towards the senses. sense objects. Is that not so? So, புலன்களில் விளங்கும் தோஷ அரியனும் அறிவெனும் கசையடித்தே. Now what you should do, or what one should do, the seeker should do, புலன்களில் விளங்கும் தோஷ. See, in the sense indulgence there is always dosha. Toda means dosha. Dosha has become toda because sha is a Sanskrit vadamori. So it has become toda, tosha.
Sha has to
toda, da aichad, but dosha only. Dosha means always there is dosham. Dosha means fault in the sense indulgence. Why? Because you get a momentary pleasure, but if you indulge again and again, it leads to what? Rogam. Rogam means diseases only. It I will tell you. Vilangum dosha means that dosha which is present in that sense indulgence. Vilangum is adanul irkum. Pulangadil vilangum toda means dosha. Second thing is, when you indulge too much, your senses, the senses would deteriorate. Eyes, if you go on watching, you have to put a big specs. Ears, so much if you abuse, then hearing aid, all those. You understand? So, this is the dosha. And not only that, there is always a pressure from within to indulge more and more and more. And we become rakshasas. We don't care for the others. We want our quota of joy. So these are all the dosha. And for a spiritual seeker, it is the biggest obstacle to abide in the self. Because to abide in the self, one has to go within and be there. But when you attach to the senses and the objects, the mind pushes you out again and again. See, when you are meditating, just one thought is enough to just derail you. One sensuous thought is enough to make the mind turbulent and to just put you out, derail you. So therefore these are the doshams present in the sense objects. So arivenum kasayaditte. See, when you are driving the chariot, what you do? You use that, what is that? Whip, right? The whip is arivenum kasayaditte. The discrimination is the whip. What is the discrimination? You find the dosha in the sense objects. Yeah, you should not go there because that is full of dosha, false. It is not good for you. See, Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda used to say, always there are two things, prayas and shreyas. Prayas means the path of the pleasant. Immediate inbam, joy you get, but on the due course it is all tunbam only, sorrow only. But shreyas means it's difficult to tread the path, but it is good. See, tapashcharya is very difficult, very hard, na? But that is good. That is shreyas. Prayas means which gives you immediate joy or happiness, but on the long run, it becomes poison. So, using the discriminative power, one has to whip this horse called as senses so that it may not go towards the objects always. What is the whip? Always point out the dosha. See, it is called as pratipaksha bhavana. Adi Shankara's Bhajagovindam, there it is said pratipaksha bhavana. There in the second verse or third verse, Adi Shankara clearly says, very openly says, oh man, why are you so deluded? Seeing the breasts of the woman, it is nothing but flesh and blood in different forms. So you remind yourself again and again, Nari stanabhara nabi desham drishtva magha mogha vesham etan mam sava sadi manasi vichintaya varam varam. So this is pratipaksha bhavana. Meaning, using the buddhi, you remind yourself, what are you deluded upon? It is nothing but flesh and blood and, covered by skin, it is nothing. Like that you discriminate. And if you indulge too much, Sugata kriyate rama bhogaha paschadanda sharire rogaha. Rogaha. Bhogaha leads to rogaha only. Therefore, for anybody, not only for brahmacharis or sannyasis, for anybody, self-restraint or self-control is advised, brahmacharya. So, for a seeker especially, brahmacharya is advised. So we have to indicate or remind the mind again and again, it is full of false. Kashayaditte ahamuha kaitral. Have you seen in the horses always there is a rope going through the nose? That is something else. Even the cows, kadivalam, that is what. Yeah, mukanang they say. So if you pull that, it is very painful. So it cannot go. So inge enna sollirukkana ahamuha kaitral irtav. Ahamuha kair. That rope is, you know what? Ahamuha kair. Always wanting to put the mind in, means deep within. That is ahamuham. Bahirmukham means always looking out. Ahamuham means making the mind introvert. So using that, as if using that rope, you are making the horse, you know, under your control. Put the mind. Ahamuhattal and the kaitral irthu. Kaitral irthu. Arivu, Ari, Arinyan, Yetil, Anaithu, Onrai, Pinaithiruppan. So all those things should be tied to what? To that Paramatma. See, the senses and the mind which are running out should be tied to that core. That is the Atma, the self. It has to be kept there. Atmanas Atma samstam manakritva kinchidabina chintayet. So it has to be placed in the source, that is the heart. So with the intellect, seeing the dosha of all the sense objects, restrain the hearts, that is the senses, and then with the ahamuha parvai, with the introvert attention, you turn the attention and then you place the mind always in Atma. So anaithirupar means Arivu Ari Arinyar. Arinyar means the intellectuals or the great jnanis. Yetil Anaithu Onra Pinaithirupar. So where they tie this mind, that is Paramatma. They tie the mind in Paramatma. Paramatma Ariborutka Adidamana Avvattu Andro Nidan. So where the jnanis, they tie the senses and mind, that is your true nature. Ariborutka Adidam. It is beyond all the knowledge, all the objective knowledge. It is Ariporutka Adidam. Ariporul means what you observe, what you perceive. So this knowledge is beyond this objective knowledge. So in that pure knowledge, these Arinyarhal, these Jnani Mahatmas, they tie the mind and the senses so that they may not run out. So where it is tied? It is Paramatma, it is tied. And that Paramatma you are, O Lord. Avvattu Andro Nidan. So here, Avvattu Andro Nidan is the main thought. Evvattu. Evvattu means where these great Mahatmas tie the senses and mind. That is the Paramatma within the heart. So how they do that? Using the buddhi, they always find the fault in the sense object, sense indulgence, and with the introvert attention, they withdraw the mind and then they tie the mind into that vastu, which is beyond all the knowledge and ignorance. Avvattu Andro Nidan. Are you not that vastu? How beautiful. So here in this verse, the sadhana is given very clearly. When you sit in meditation, the mind will run out only. The senses will drag you out only towards the sense objects. Because there are a lot of vasanas, impressions in the mind. See, anadikala impressions are there. When the eye see the beautiful forms, it runs even without your knowledge. It is very spontaneous. See, a gross example, if you are sitting somewhere, let us say a beautiful woman walks. Automatically all the eyes go like that. Is that not so? Meaning what? It has been made that way. The eyes go behind. Similarly, beautiful music. The ears go. Touch. The mind goes there. Breathe. We say, Tendral vandi ennai teendukkirathu. That's what we say, na? So the mind and the senses are made that way to go behind the sense objects. because of the vasanas. But now what is our effort? When the mind is always extrovert, running out, you cannot know the truth or abide in the truth. Now our idea is what? To abide in the truth, which is in the heart. So we have to, enakena prakarena, we have to withdraw the mind and make it introvert. For that, what you should do? Discrimination. What is the discrimination? You have to talk to the mind, educate the mind, tell the mind, after all, what are you running for? Sense pleasures. How long you are going to run? How long are you going to play with these toys? And what is the use of it? Mupu pini shakad. Old age, disease and death. That is the destiny of all. Now are we here only for that? We are here for the higher pursuit, the pursuit of truth. So for that my Guru Maharaj has said, you have to become introvert and you have to remain in Atma, the self. So what are you going to gain by running into the world outside? It is all full of fault. See, you indulge. Are you satisfied? No. Again what you indulge? Again you want to indulge. Vittai, vilivutru vittai, vinaikadal viltidu mundibara. Again and again you are pushed from within to indulge. Again and again mind becomes extrovert. Always you are here in this world. And that is dukkha only. See, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This worldly life is what? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. We feel there is a lot of sukha, but honestly tell me, there is a lot of dukkha only. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Nothing is permanent. So therefore you educate the mind saying, these are all the doshas in all these sense indulgences. Oh mind, our Gurunathan has said, now we have to withdraw, become introvert. Ahamuhappadu, appolude anandamundam. So we have to withdraw the mind and then now ask, to whom all these sensuous thoughts? To me. Who am I? From where this I is rising? Like that, if you go within, then you abide in the source. So all the senses and mind are now tied only to that center of our personality, the core of our personality, called as Atma, the self. Meaning, tied means what? Always the mind and everything is kept here. Idayathil aalndu. You are always there, abiding. So that vastu andro nidan, where these arinyargal means these panditas or these jnanis, where they tie my senses and mind into the core, which is beyond ignorance and knowledge, the pure knowledge. Vastu andro nidan, are you not that? So you only taught us, O Lord, that when the mind goes out, you have to whip it with the proper discrimination and bring it back and place it in the heart. Now, as if disciples are telling Adi Shankara, now going into that body, if you get lost in the world, in the sense indulgence, is it fair? Avastu andro nidan, are you not that? Where everything is tied, that center of the personality, the Atma, the self. So you only taught us, you have to use your discrimination. What happened to you? We were waiting for you, but we could not see you. Are you lost? Avastu andro nidan, are you not that? See, this is the idea. How beautiful. So in meditation, again and again, discrimination means what? Seeing the other side of the story. See, the mind will always want immediate pleasure only, because that is called as vasanas. But with the buddhi, we have to teach, educate the mind, saying, what do you want really in life? I want satyam, the truth. Then you should give up this. You cannot have both. Why? Because to have the worldly indulgence, your mind should be extrovert. To abide in the self, you should be introvert. At the same time, you cannot be extrovert and introvert. It's not possible. It is impossible. See, when there are vasanas of indulgence, mind will not settle down. Maybe it may settle down for some time, but it will not. So therefore it is suggested that you have to find the fault in all this sense indulgence and say, after all, what it is, momentary pleasure. And we have been indulging for how many janmas now? So where is the end to all this? And it is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. And what do we want now? We want the highest. The highest, or that Satchidananda Swarupam, where you get all the Ananda. Do you want these pleasures or the Ananda? That is how you have to educate your mind, through discrimination. Then the mind will listen to you, saying, yes, yes, now I want that, not this. Even though this may appeal to me now, temporarily, but still, what is good for me? See, it is not only in sense indulgence, even in emotional attachments, even relationships. So in relationships, we cherish, we want again and again to be with the same people again and again. At that moment, it may be ha ha ho ho, but attachment is dukkha only. So we have to educate the mind, saying, what do you want? Are you here only to get entangled in this world, or you want higher? So whatever is very appealing to the mind, we should not always feed the mind. Then you will always revel in this world only. What is discrimination? Kasayaditte, what a word he has used. Whip the horses with the kasai. Kasayaditte. Then you turn it back. Ahamuha kaitral irthu. With the rope. Ahamuha kairu. With that, you withdraw. And anaithirupar, you tie that. Where? In the Atma, the self. That vastu andro nidan, where it is tied. Are you not that vastu? So, that has to be done now. See, if your mind is running out, don't get surprised, it is natural. It is for everybody, all. Because we have got these innate vasanas. See, other vasanas would have come somewhere in between. But this sexual indulgence, anadikalam, because this procreation is the only thing in this world, from amoeba onwards. So, is anadikala vasana. There is nothing to get surprised. If there are sensuous thoughts, nothing to get surprised actually. It is natural. We should accept it, it's natural. But what we do with that? If you are a seeker, if you want the highest, then you have to withdraw. By discrimination and dispassion. And you have to remain there. If you are not a seeker, if you are not serious about seeking, see, if you are, into the world, there is no harm. Indulging is not a big thing. But if you indulge too much, even in the world, then it is not good for the health, for the well-being. And you become a Rakshasa. You become pervert. And you want all sorts of enjoyment, even if it is dharmic or adharmic. And you don't worry for the others. See, you become a Rakshasa. So therefore, even for a worldly person, some sort of restrainment is advised. For a Grihastha, who is leading a household life, for even him, brahmacharya is advised. Because it is said, dharma means what? Have your indulgence with your wife. But the mind will not allow, mind will not keep quiet. It wants everything. It wants everything. So to tell the mind, no, that is not good for you. Only this is good. Also is restraint only, na? If a person is weak, then chapalam is there in the mind. He wants everything. But he will not accept when his partner does the same. He wants the partner to be loyal and to be devoted, blah, blah, blah. But he can do anything. See, that is why one speaker once said, everybody expects the wife to be Sita, but they remain as Ravana. Then how can the wife be Sita? You should remain as Rama if you want your wife to be Sita. You expect your wife to be Sita and you remain as Ravana, and everybody remains as Ravana, means how can Sita be spared? So therefore, even for Grihasthas, the self-restraint, self-control is very important. And for the seekers, it is a very important qualification. Because it's very simple. See, there is no sin, there is no virtue and all. For a seeker, very clear, what do you want? If you want that truth, then you have to turn within and abide in the Atma, the self. If the mind is always extrovert, you cannot do that. Then you will not attain that highest. If you have renounced everything for the highest, then you have to be serious. If not, again and again if you are going out, then forget about this pursuit. You cannot you cannot travel on the two boats. Therefore, use your discrimination and withdraw the mind and place it in the heart. Remain there. When you remain there, it is infinite Ananda. Why do you want sense indulgence? For Ananda, for some sort of pleasure, happiness. But here, infinite Ananda. Therefore, the mind doesn't want anything now, because it has got everything. Apta Kaman, all the desires are fulfilled there. Meaning, why desire? Only for pleasure. There is bliss, infinite. So, what is the use of all these pleasures, these indulgences? Swananda bhave paritushtimantaha swashanta sarvendriya vrittimantaha. One who is reveling in that Ananda, his mind and senses naturally remain quiet within. Why? He has got everything. So why should he go out? See, if you have got a wonderful food in your house, wonderful food, tasty, you get a degree coffee. Some people, they go to hotel and they always curse because their wife would have made such wonderful coffee. Wherever they go, they are not satisfied. Ennada coffee, useless. Then I tell them, why are you drinking this coffee here? You know, it's useless. No, I need that. Actually, when you have got a very good food, very wonderful, tasty coffee in your house, will you go to a hotel? You will not go, because you have got everything. So similarly, you have got everything within me. Why should you go out? So therefore, abiding in the self is highest. If you want the highest, you have to sacrifice. What you have to sacrifice? The lower, the mundane, the sense indulgences, all that thing should be sacrificed. But if the mind is weak, it wants the highest also, but wants to revel in the lower also. It means there is no proper discrimination. It cannot have both. You cannot have the cake and eat it too. They say, na? Whether you can have the cake or eat it. I want to have the cake and eat also. How you can do it? Similarly, so here, using the discrimination, make the mind introvert and tie it in the Atma, the self. So where the senses are tied, avastu anro nidan. That is what is indicated here. So that Paramatma is you, where all the senses and mind are tied, and it is beyond. Hariborutka adidaman. Adida means beyond. Hariborul means what? What is known in this world, it is beyond the knowledge of the world. It is the very subject, the pure knowledge, the consciousness. Avvastu anro nidan. Are you not that vastu? How beautiful, na? Kathopanishad, the same idea comes. And then moving on to the fourth one. பூக்களின் நின்று வேராய் பொருந்திடும் சூத்திரம் போர் சாக்கிரமாதியான சருவத்தும் வேறதான சாக்கியா நோக்கியாதை சத்துக்கள் அகத்தனைவர் ஆக்கமும் நீக்கமில்லா அவ்வஸ்து அன்றோ நீதான். I am very sure you give this verse even to a Tamil Pandit, he may not understand. I tell you, I once tried actually. MA MPhil in Tamil. I gave Bhagwan's, please tell me what is the meaning. For that, you should know Tamil, chase Tamil, and also some idea of Vedanta. Then only you can interpret this. Otherwise, you can't. See, all of you know Tamil, na? Now tell me what it is. Sakira Madhyana means what? Sakya Noki means what? Is it Nokia? Va? What is this Nokia? Sakya Nokia. What is it Tamil or what? Or Japanese? See, you have to split it in proper way, and also you have to be very careful because Bhagavan has not included any Sanskrit words, Sanskrit even symbols or sound symbols. He has made it all pure Tamil, chaste Tamil. Don't think he is a fanatic. No, he is not. Even Sanskrit he has written verses. But when it is Sanskrit, pure Sanskrit he uses. When it is Tamil, pure Tamil. See, that is the way to go, na? That is what he is very particular. I will tell you what it is. Pookalin nindru verai porundidum sutiram po sakira madiyana saruvattum veradana sakya nokiyade சத்துக்கள் அகத்தனைவர் ஆக்கமும் நீக்கமில்லா அவ்வஸ்து அன்றோ நீதான் பூக்களின் இன்று வேறாய் பொருந்திடும் சூத்திரம் போல். See, when you take a flower garland, when you take a garland, there are so many flowers, but they are tied with a string. Sutiram means string. Here also the same word is used, sutiram. Pookal means flowers. Pookalin indru verai porundidum sutiram pol. See, with the naru means Tamil they say naru. With a thread or with that string or whatever. With that you tie the flowers. Why you do that? So that you make all the flower to hold together. But whatever said and done, this sutiram or this thread is different from flowers. Though the sutiram is there to unite all the flowers, to hold all the flowers together, but always flower is a flower, the thread is something else. Is it not so? But this thread is passing in and through all the flowers and holding the flowers together as a garland. But this sutiram, this thread is something different. Similarly, Sakira Madiyana Sarvattum Veradana. Sakira means Sakira means wait. No, wait. Sakira means Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. These are the three states na avasthas. So Jagrad avastha, Jagrad is become Sakra. Ja becomes Sa. So Jagrad avastha has become Sakra. Sagrad Adiyana means what? Etc. So Jagrad Sushupti, Swapna Sushupti. So Vizhipu, Kanavu, all the Nidya in Tamil. But here Bhagavan uses the Sanskrit word Jagrat. But he has put it as Sakra. Actual Tamil people will not understand what is Sakiram. All the three avasthas, Sarvattum Veradana. So this one, this Atma, the self, the Paramatma, is something different from all these three avasthas. But it is in and through all the avasthas. The self, the Paramatma, the self, is there when we are in waking state. It is there in the dream state. It is there in the deep sleep state also. But it is something else. Like the thread which is in and through all the flowers, holding everything together, but still it is different from all the flowers. Similarly, this Atma, the self, is there in the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, all the three avasthas. Even though it is there in and through all the experiences, but it is beyond all experiences. Sakira Madiyana Sarvattum Veradana Sakya Noki Yadai. It is just a Sakshi. Sakya Noki means the great ones, They consider this as the Sakshi. They observe this as Sakshi. Noki means observing. They observe this as just a Sakshi. Not bound by any avasthas. Not disturbed by any of the experiences. Just the Sakshi. Sakshiya Nokiyadai Sattukkal Ahattanaivar. The Sadhu Sant irkangle, Sattukkal. The Sadhu Sant, they see this Atma, the self, which is in and through all the three avasthas, but different from all the three avasthas, as the Sakshi. Sattukkal Ahat Anaivar means in the within, they see this as the Sakshi Matram. Akamum Nika Milla Avattu Andro Nid. Akam means it cannot be created. Nika means it cannot be destroyed. So this one, which they consider, which they see as Sakshi within their self, it cannot be created, nor it can be destroyed. Avattu Andro Nidan. Are you not that self, O Lord? So, though the thread goes in and through all the flowers, but it is different from the flowers. Similarly, this self is present, is reason for all the experiences, but still in Jagrat, Swapna and Shushupti, but still it is different from all these three things. And what is that? In the heart, it remains as a Sakshi, Sakshi Bhavana. That is what your true self, na, O Lord. See, please understand, this is also a very important way of controlling the mind. See, the last verse, he said, using the intellect, you find the dosha in the sense objects and then withdraw the senses and mind and tie it in Atma. Now here the technique is, you are the Sakshi, in and through all the experiences. See, in the Jagrat, in the waking state, when you experience the world, you may feel elated or you may feel depressed, sorrow-stricken, praise or censure. You feel very elated, means what? When you are praised, you feel very happy and elated. When you are insulted, you feel very unhappy. Disturbed, yeah. So all these things may come and go, but remember always, you are just the Sakshi of all these emotions. Good or bad, Sukha or Dukkha, praise or censure. Every experience may come and go, but always remember, you are not anyway having anything to do with all these emotions and thoughts. You are just the Sakshi Matra.
Like thread in the...
No, the thread is only said that it is not, it is different from the flower. See, that example is given only to say it is different from the flower. Similarly, this Atma self is different from all these experiences. But how it is remaining is as Sakshi, not involved with these experiences. See, as an ego, we are involved with the experience. See, in Mundaka Upanishad, there comes a beautiful analogy. There is a tree. In that tree, there are two birds. One bird is in the lower branch, another bird is in the higher branch. That bird in the lower branch is always perching the fruits. Some fruits are very sweet. Some fruits are very sour. So this bird which is in the lower branch is always indulging, perching. So it is elated or very unhappy. But the other bird in the higher branch is just not eating. So the same word is used, Anashnan. In the Upanishad it comes the same word, Anashnan. Ashnan means eating. Anashnan. It is remaining there, not eating. That is Paramatma. That is your true self. Even though this Ahankara or the Jiva or the individual self is always indulging in Sukha Dukkha, there is one part of it, the Sakshi, which is not in any way associated with any of these experiences. That is you. So all these great souls, when they sit for meditation, the thoughts may come and go, but they say, I have nothing to do with these thoughts. However wonderful it may be, however vulgar it may be, whatever it may be.
Just observe.
Just observe. That is Sakshi Matram. I am just the Sakshi means a witness of all the thoughts. I have nothing to do with all these thoughts. and he remains there as Sakshi. So what happens? These thoughts, they come, they go, they come. Only when you give value to those thoughts and feed them, they become more and more and more. They become very powerful. When you don't feed them, when you don't give any value to them, they lose their potency and slowly they subside. This is the secret. But we don't allow this to happen. Always like that bird in that lower branch. When something good comes in the mind, ha 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 ha. When something bad comes, something like we react. That is our ordinary existence. But here Sakshi Matra means what? Whatever happens, remain peaceful. Because you are the Purna Paramatma and you are already full, already you have attained everything. You have nothing to do with this world or worldly experiences. Agamaha, apayinaha, anityaha, tam titikshasva bharata. Let them come, let them go. Just you remain as Sakshi. When this Sakshi Bhavanam can be maintained, that is what J. Krishnamurti says. Watch and observe, he says. Watch and observe. We also have got this third eye. When you just open the third eye, that is Sakshi Matram, if you remain, everything is burnt. Actually, the world of objects have got no potency to bind you. You only give value to it. Gurudev gives a beautiful example, Swami Chinmayanandaji. Let us say you are a teetotaler and your friend is a drunkard. Both of you are walking in a bazaar, in a street. Suddenly you see a shop where there are bottles, color bottles. In Tamil Nadu they call it Tasmak. You don't know anything. You know, some bottles are kept there. Some juice or something, I don't know what. Some bottles are kept and you walk. But that fellow cannot move. Hey, 1 minute, please wait. What happened? Wait. What happened? No. 1 minute, you please wait. So he wants to go, but his legs will not allow him to go. So, as if Gurudev used to say, as if those bottles are saying, come, inviting. For the other person, he is not feeling anything. But this person can't move. As if those bottles are inviting, come. He has to go. He has to pay. He has to buy. He has to drink. And then next day he will take a resolution from tomorrow on I will never drink. But the next day same thing happens. Why? Because this thing is not in the bottle. If some potency is in the bottle, you should have attracted both, na? It is not there, it is here. Yeah, seed in the form of vasanas. So he cannot move. So the world cannot bind you. It is your own vasanas which is giving power to this world to bind you. So when the vasanas express as thoughts in the mind, as desires in the mind, if you remain as Sakshi, let all the desire or the thoughts come and go. I have nothing to do with them. Then that is called a sublimation. See, suppression means what? With willpower you say, no. Now I am a Swami, I am a Brahmachari, I am a seeker, I should not indulge. That is suppression. Sublimation means what? I am here for higher pursuit. My Gurunathan has said, this is not healthy for my higher pursuit. So with this knowledge, consciously you say, let them come, let them go, I have nothing to do with that. I am already full, Paramatma, Purna Paramatma I have nothing to do with this. Like that Sakshi Matram, if you remain, these vasanas get exhausted. That is called a sublimation. So, either you use the discrimination and find fault with the sense objects and remind yourself that you are here for the higher pursuit, therefore you have to give up the lower and then turn the mind within. Or, you just say, I have nothing to do with all this. I am Sakshi Matram. Let this come and let this go. I have nothing to do with all these things. Sakshi Matram, if you remain, then also you are saved. Or, like Bhagavan, you ask, for whom all these thoughts, these sensuous thoughts? To whom? To me. Who am I? If you inquire sincerely, the very I will disappear. When the I disappears, what about the thoughts? So actually speaking, the ahankara itself is not. So what to talk about all these thoughts, sensuous thoughts or whatever thoughts? We assume that this I is real, and then we give so much of value to this I, and you feed the I by giving everything whatever it asks. Then it dances. Whether this I is real, this I itself is false. Then all its ideas, emotions, thoughts are false. So don't give any value to the ego and egocentric thoughts. So inquire for whom all these emotions, thoughts, and there ends the story. So this is Bhagavan's. So there are three approaches. One is use discrimination and educate the mind, pointing out the dosha of the sense object, sense indulgence, and withdraw the mind. Or remind the sakshi, whatever happens, I have nothing to do with all these experiences, and thus you allow the mind to subside. Or inquire for whom all these thoughts and abide in the self, so that the ahankara is destroyed, all the thoughts are destroyed. These are the three approaches. So Adi Shankara, our Adi Shankara disciples have given out a beautiful method to tame the mind. See, by just praising the Stuti, Guru Stuti, they have pointed out the sadhana also. Avastu Andro Nidan, are you not that where you remain a sakshi, like the thread which is passing through the garland? You are something other than all these experiences in all these three states. But you are the basis for all these experiences. Without you, there is no experience. But you are different from Vilakshanam. You are different from all these experiences. That Sakshi, where the Sadhu Sant, where they see you as the Sakshi in their hearts, Avastu Andro Nidan, which cannot be created or destroyed. Akamum Nikamum illa. Akam means creation. Nikam means destroying, destruction. Akamum Nikamum illa. Avastu Andro Nidan. Om Purnamadha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Jayaramanji, every day we are postponing. I am postponing to go into those accounts and all. To go into